What's going on, everybody? It is an awesome day here in Austin, Texas. I am super excited. I got a surprise for myself. I didn't even know what was going to happen today. But like you guys know, I came to Austin on Thursday. I went to the Gary Vee and Aubrey Marcus event. And then yesterday we did breakouts. I did the podcast with Goody Beats. And then today we are here with Jason Wittrock. And then the surprise, I didn't even know. If you're watching live on Instagram right now, in the background you can see Logan Sneed, aka Logan Fusion Lean, is back there doing some work.
It's the 2-for-1 special.
Yeah. I mean, this is crazy. I didn't think I was going to meet all these people this weekend. So this is great. I'm super excited. Again, we got Jason Wittrock on the mic.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Dude.
Glad to have you down here in Austin.
Yes.
You enjoying yourself so far?
I love Austin. And the thing about Austin, it's just so progressive and people are so nice and it's kind of become the keto capital almost.
It is the keto capital. It has arrived.
Yes. And then you're here now, so man.
That's what made it the keto capital.
And you got so much going on.
I do.
It's crazy.
Don't we all though?
Well,
it's all about how you balance it out.
Balance is key.
Yeah.
That is absolutely one of the biggest things that I've set out in the last 8 months for myself, is just finding that balance. And everybody's balance is a little bit different.
Yeah, most definitely.
So guys, I'm here. I got this podcast and I got another one after this. So we're not going to go as long as normal, but I really want you guys to get to know Jason a little more. And then I want to just kind of talk about things that he's done that's really impacted me and my business and what's helped my clients out to understand how keto works and all that good stuff. But one thing I was thinking on my way down here, so I teach NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine. And I just finished with one of my students 2 weeks ago. And during the nutritional aspect of it, we have to teach them everything. So we know 9 calories for a gram of fat, 4 for carbs and protein and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. And so then they have a breakdown and they say what you should eat, your daily macros. Mm-hmm. And they say 50 to 60% of what you should eat should be carbs. 30
if you want to get fat.
30 to 35 is protein, and then the rest is fat. And I'm like cringing as I have to teach this because they got to pass the test. Yeah. And I'm like,
Now that's their take on it. You ask the government, their take's going to be different. You ask me, it's going to be different.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't take any of it as gospel, obviously. But it is kind of interesting how they teach that one way of doing it for what's supposed to be a strength and conditioning certification. Is that right?
Well, no, it's just an overall personal training certification.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of your baseline. I always tell my students, listen, this is just ground zero.
I think NASM is about 20, 30 years behind, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They probably haven't updated that recommendation in about that long.
I agree, because even some of the stats that they have in there that I'm teaching were back in like 2010 and something like that. Yeah. Some of the studies that they have. So I totally, when I have to teach that, I'm like, hey guys, side note, here's what.
Side note, if you're insulin resistant, that ain't going to work for you. If your client's really overweight, that ain't going to work for you.
Yeah,
but if you're a cookie cutter, that'll work for you.
Yeah.
If you're out to just throwing out cookie cutter plans, go with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was telling Jason earlier, part of there's a few things that I love about the keto lifestyle and everything. So he got a chance. He saw my Jeep outside, and I said this yesterday that I'm part of the Jeep community, and it's one of those things that if you have a flat tire or something goes wrong on your Jeep, man, all you gotta do is just post on Facebook, and somebody will come out there and they'll help you in some way possible. And I mean, it's a tight-knit group. And in 2014, when I started to get into the keto lifestyle and learning everything and learning from LeBron James's trainer and what he did, and because I was really about the performance side outside of the aesthetics.
Yep.
And through those years from 2014 all the way up to 16, when I discovered you, and I I started a group called Keto Cut on Facebook just to find more of that community. And that keto community it reminds me of the Jeep community. I mean, they're so caring, and they want people to be successful and push themselves, and it's really cool to see that.
I think it's because it's very different. Like, Jeeps are very different than cars, obviously. On the road, the attitude, the mentality, the type of person. It's almost like a risk-taking type of thing that live on the outside edge. And you kind of have to have the same way of thinking about the world if you're going to do something as crazy as keto as well. It's a fringe. Unfortunately, it's becoming more mainstream. But I mean, when Jeep first started, you were crazy if you drove a Jeep. But now look at you. It's you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna, every time you get on the road, you're going to see one, and I think that's going to be the same thing with keto.
I totally believe in that as well. You know, the thing that, so let's just go ahead and fast forward when I learned about you and found out about you.
Kind of nervous, but go ahead. Tell me.
2016, you know, that's when I finally, the 2 years before that, I really just studied all, you know, in the books about keto, learned, like, you know, in 1934, that's when it started, and guy won Nobel Peace Prize with it, and then boom, boom, boom. And then I learned about you in 2016, and you told your story how you worked with kids in the hospital, and with they were taking the medicine that they would gain like 40, 50 pounds, you know, that good stuff. But the one video that really, it changed the way that I could explain keto to people. And honestly, I don't know if you still have it up. I need to go look. I hope you do.
I'm pretty famous for deleting videos, but yeah, go ahead.
You had 2 water bottles. And you're squeezing the food coloring in there, showing, okay, when you take in carbs. That was...
so I was using the flavored water enhancer, 2 different bottles. One of the colors of the flavored water enhancer represented blood sugar, and the other one represented insulin. And I think at that point what I was finding was that it was terribly difficult for people to be able to visualize the idea that blood sugar goes up, and as a response, insulin, which is a hormone, is secreted. But those, you know, you're thinking secreted, like, it doesn't really make sense. It's kind of hard to visualize, like I said. So when I put that together, I think people really clicked. They're like, oh, okay. And they could see the chain of events. And they were kind of visual. So the water represented basically your bloodstream. And I have to go back and watch that video. I'll probably cringe because I was just early in my, you know.
It was early when you were still living in Colorado.
I was actually in my hometown of Westchester. I remember it pretty vividly now that you bring it up. My God, how I've come a long way. But also, my God, how much keeping it simple and is important when it comes to explaining this stuff, because it can get pretty overwhelming and daunting for people to kind of grasp. So that's cool, man.
That was definitely, I mean, when I have new clients come in, and, you know, I really try talking to them about what keto is like, and I would love for them to try it out. Some are about, you know, they're like, okay, let's do it. Some are like, I don't know. But the ones that do, I try to send them that link. I
appreciate that.
And I'm like, watch this.
I got to do an updated version.
You need to. I mean, honestly, there's probably about, I'd say, a handful of about, you know, 5 to 10 videos that are on YouTube that are really specific, that really can give you that visualization of what how keto can be so effective for you.
I didn't think when I did that how much of an impact that silly little demonstration would have, but it worked.
It worked for me, worked for my clients, and it's helped my business out.
That's great.
Thank you for doing that.
My pleasure.
And I hope you do it again.
I'm glad you pay it forward, bro. That's all that matters.
So talk to me. You've got Keto Quest.
Keto Quest.
Talk about that.
Well, first off, it's a huge community of awesome people who are doing the ketogenic diet. We're almost at 15,000 people.
Wow.
And it was just a way for me to kind of bring people together. We give out a free program along with it. So you get the program for free. You get to join the community. It's a big networking type of experience for everybody, because a lot of times when people do keto, they feel like they're all alone. You know,
absolutely.
They might be the only one in their family. All their friends think they're crazy. And Facebook and Instagram, you can find out about keto there, but it's not really a protected place.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can even be censored. But our app, if you go to ketoquest.com, you can basically download the app. We partner with a company called Mighty Networks, and they've been fantastic. But it's just a big, huge, safe place. It's like a keto-specific app. We teach you everything we can. We do lives every week. If you want coaching, keto coaching, we offer that as well. If you need help with your journey, and it's been the culmination of like my entire fitness career. Everything I've learned, I've kind of said, okay, now I'm going to put this all into one brand.
Yeah.
And we've got some amazing people behind us. We have awesome keto coaches. It's really a team effort. I was smart and partnered with a tech entrepreneur, which helped kind of take a lot of these crazy ideas in my head and make them happen.
Yeah.
We have a lot of exciting announcements coming soon with Keto Quest. It's just kind of blown up, to be honest,
definitely.
and it's great, you know. So I encourage anybody listening right now, if you're new to the ketogenic diet, go do the 21-day Keto Quest challenge. It's fantastic. Go even just join the app and see people's stories and see the progress pictures. You can see what people are eating. It's awesome, man.
Yeah, and also you've got the 10 commitments.
The 10
out
commitments,
right now,
yeah.
And you know, everybody that's been listening to me for the last, today's day 40. I've been doing the 75 hard, so some of those commitments are part of your
parallel.
10.
Yeah, so the 10 commitments is the 21-day Keto Quest challenge. Is the base of it, the foundation of it is what I call the 10 commitments. And these are 10 things that I had to commit to over the course of about a 15-20 year stint in the industry. I honest to God wish that somebody would have just given me a list of these 10 things the day I started, because life would have been a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah.
But I had to learn the hard way on a few of them. Some of them, it really helped me out. But if you want me to go through them, I will, what the 10 commitments are.
Absolutely.
I won't go into detail. If you guys want the details on each commitment, you can just go to ketoquest.com, sign up. It's a completely free. And I give you in the program, or in the challenge, in the app, I give you the resources and the knowledge that you need to fulfill each one of the commitments. So commitment number 1 is you can only eat foods found on the approved food list. So I work with a famous chef here in Austin, Texas, and him and I put together a very extensive list of
I was hoping you'd bring him on
Keto
too.
Chef Max. Shout out to Keto Chef Max.
Exactly.
And so we put together this very in-depth list of approved foods. All of them are low glycemic, don't impact blood sugars, high fat, proteins, you name it, it's on there. We believe big time in single ingredient whole foods. And so that's what that list is made up of. So that's commitment number 1. You can only eat foods found on that list for 21 days. It won't be difficult, trust me. Commitment number 2 is perhaps one of my favorites, and it's eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full.
And I got to witness this. He
Like
got
a
some
lion
food earlier.
Like a lion in the wild.
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll go into. We could do a whole podcast on that, but we're not gonna. Commitment number 3 is you must track your food for 21 days, then stop tracking at the end of 21 days. We go into specifics about what you are tracking. And so you can find that out by going to the app. But the important thing there is to stop tracking after 21 days, because I've worked with thousands of people, men, and tracking is very important in the beginning, but it can become very overwhelming. It can overtake your life. You can overanalyze things. It's your best friend in the beginning because it helps you understand what you're doing, gives you good positive feedback. But it seems after 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it turns on you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying some people thrive off of it, and that's great. And I'm not trying to encourage them to stop. But what I've found is, over the 21 days, you should be building up the confidence that you need to where it becomes instinctive. You know the types of foods that you're eating, you're listening to your body, and you don't have to be a slave to tracking every single day. If you ever get lost again, you just go back a few days, that's fine. That's commitment number 3. Commitment number 4 is you must intermittent fast at least 3 days a week. So we give you different options on the types of fast. We educate you on fasting, what the benefits are, at least 3 days a week.
When you say the fat, how long?
It's up to you. You can do a warrior fast. You can do OMAD. You can do 16-8.
Okay.
We give you all the options. It's completely up to you. The only thing that's not negotiable is you have to do it at least 3 days a week.
Okay.
If you want to do it every day, that's fine. It's just at least 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Commitment number 5 is you must take a progress picture every 7 days. Commitment number 6 is.
I want to touch on that one.
Yeah.
I think that one is really important.
Of course.
Because keto, unlike all the other diets out there, and I hate saying the word diet, but I'm just going to, it's such a muscle sparing, lifestyle and diet, unlike all the other ones where you lose muscle and fat. So yeah, you might see, visually see that you're losing size, but sometimes you don't with keto. So you have to take that picture and then you'll be shocked. You're like, holy shit,
bro,
the scale may not be going down.
Bro, I've been a part of so many transformations, and each one of them, you look at their picture and you're like, they must have lost 50 pounds.
Yeah.
They only lost 15.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's crazy. And it's hard to get people to believe, but that leads me right into commitment number 6, which is you are forbidden to step on the scale for 21 days.
Do you hear that?
It all ties in. It all ties in. A picture tells 1,000 words. And the scale is your best friend in the beginning, and it quickly becomes your worst enemy. Yep. I promise you, everybody listening, the scale is not your friend. And a lot of times people put their entire self-worth on the number that shows on that scale. I'm a former wrestler. I grew up on the scale, so I know its tendency to betray.
Yeah.
I know how you can be a slave to it. I know it crushes dreams. I know you can live or die on that scale.
Yeah.
I've been in that situation before. And so that's commitment number 6. Commitment number 7 is no sugar or artificial sweeteners. Before everybody freaks out, we do allow natural sweeteners, which is stevia and monk fruit. Reluctantly, we also decided to add 2 sugar alcohols, xylitol and erythritol, but that's it.
Okay.
Commitment number 8 is you must work out or exercise at least 3 days a week. I don't care what form of exercise you do. Find what you love and do it at least 3 days a week. Pour your heart out into it. Be proud of yourself when you do it.
Any time limit?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Just get it done.
Get it done.
Yep.
Okay.
Some people might start off not doing it that much and then learn to love it, and then the time goes up. Just let it fall naturally. Just commit to 3 days a week, finding what you love. I don't care if it's friggin' CrossFit, bodybuilding, jazzercise, pole dancing. I don't care. Just do something. Okay. Commitment number 9, which is weirdly the one that everybody has the biggest response to, like, oh my gosh, is you must drink a gallon of water every day. Like, this is one of those things that I learned in when I got myself into the terrible bodybuilding world, was all these bros holding water jugs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, if I'm going to try and fit in here, it looks like I got to drink a gallon of water.
Yeah.
And it was a struggle.
Yeah.
But I got leaner as I started drinking more water. The water retention went down. It's when you drink more, so your body's most likely storing water right now. If you want to get rid of that stored water, especially around your waist, you drink more water, and what that does is it sends a signal to your brain like, okay, this guy's or girl's finally getting enough water. We can start flushing out the water we've been storing because they've been dehydrating us forever.
Yep.
And so it's when you increase your water consumption, the hair, the skin, the nails, your mood, body temperature regulation, everything. Water is life.
Yeah.
And so even if you don't drink a gallon of water every day and you fall short on that commitment, at least you're drinking more than if you didn't make the commitment at all.
I say at least half your body weight in ounces.
Yeah, just drink. I'm actually going to take a quick swig right now before we move on to commitment number 10.
So I drink a gallon of water a day, and at first I had to put just something just to give me a little bit of flavor because I hate the taste of water.
Yeah, I know. I feel you. I use lemon.
Yeah, that's great. And I need to do that a lot more because I love the cucumber lemon infused water.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great.
I used to use, going back to earlier in the discussion, the flavored water enhancer, the Mio and the Crystal Lights and stuff, but they got artificial sweeteners in them, so I can't during this. I'm actually on day 13 of this. I've made these commitments my whole life, but we just launched this, the 21-day challenge. So I'm on day 13.
Okay.
And I'm feeling great, but if anybody out there has like a flavored water enhancer that uses stevia or monk fruit only, please let Cody know or myself, because I get a lot of people asking, if I can't use Mio, what can I use?
What do you
besides
think about
like
just the flavored stevia drops?
I've never even seen them. Maybe that's the solution.
That's what I get root beer flavored, cola flavored, grape flavor, berry flavor.
What do you think about Zevia?
Sprouts.
What do you think about Zevia?
I love Zevia.
Yeah,
love Zevia.
Dangerous stuff for me to have around, man.
I do the Dr. Pepper wannabe one.
So good.
Yeah.
Okay, commitment number 10 to wrap all this up is no cheat meals or alcohol for 21 days. So listen, everybody, I promise you, if you can make those 10 commitments for 21 days, it will put you in a position, not only will you get results over the course of the 21 days, but it will put you in a position to be able to make keto a lifestyle. It's kind of weird because you could do it on any diet, to be honest with you. These 10 commitments, it applies to almost any diet. It's just the only thing that's variable is the foods that you're eating and what you're tracking. But I promise you, give it a shot. You got nothing to lose. It's the Keto Quest community. Will support you throughout the entire journey. And so, maybe after you're 75 hard, you do the Keto Quest 21-day challenge.
I'll do it.
We'll see, bro.
So, I own a gym in Dallas, Texas, and it's kind of a little bit of more of your rough, hardcore gym in a way. And so I got a lot of bodybuilding. Like, I don't know if you heard of Jason Poston.
Of course I have.
He works out at the gym and stuff. And so with that, I got some old school bodybuilding trainers and stuff, and they just
hate keto.
They hate keto.
Oh, I bet they do.
And
they can't put their ego aside.
Well, I hate
to say it.
I got two types. So I got the bodybuilding trainers, and then I got the trainers that doing like Olympic lifts and CrossFit and stuff.
Yeah.
So they are all like, dude, I'm going to feel like shit. I can't perform as well. And then you got the bodybuilder people are like, I can't add size or anything.
I can sympathize with them.
Yeah.
Especially with the Olympic lifting, because they don't really care about whether they get heart disease right now. They don't care about like obesity or diabetes management or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Their goal is to simply lift a shitload of weight.
Yeah.
And carbs help you do that.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. So I sympathize with them more than I sympathize with the bodybuilding coaches, trainers. I think if we're just talking about bodybuilding, and the ketogenic diet is by far the best strategy when it comes to cutting for shows. 100%. The main reason is because you are not suffering. Every bodybuilder, anybody that steps on stage knows that you have to start cutting carbohydrates out usually at like week 12. So when you're like 12 weeks out, you start tapering back the carbohydrates. So all your trainers, they won't deny that carbs make you fat. Otherwise, why would you cut them out?
Yeah, exactly.
The only difference is they're used to, now we're going to cut by cutting out the carbs, but we want to keep the muscle, so we're going to bump protein levels to ungodly amounts.
Yeah.
And I fell victim to that as well. And you always end up losing muscle unless you're on stuff. But we're assuming that you're not.
Yeah.
That's been the way they've always done it. The secret is actually to increase your fat consumption. The fear was always, fat makes you fat, blah, 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 blah. Trust me, you increase the fat, you start producing ketones. The ketones are protein sparing. Next thing you know, you get super shredded. You keep all the muscle that you spent training for in the off season. And there's just no better way of doing it. I promise. But in their defense, keto is not the ideal diet when you think of what a normal bodybuilder does, which is try and put on 10, 20, 30 pounds of muscle.
What do you think if somebody went with the cyclical?
I did the cyclical ketogenic diet. It is not, I would advise against it, because one day of carbohydrates, even two. So for those of you who don't know, cyclical ketogenic dieting is you go keto all week long, and then you can either on the weekend, whether it's one day or 2 days, you carb up, right? And it's debatable.
It's high, anywhere between 200 to 600 grams.
Yeah, usually it's an listen, and I have experience doing this. I even launched a program that has since taken off the market. Okay. That's how strongly I feel about this. You're just, trust me, one full day of carbohydrates is not going to be the difference between you building a bunch of muscle and not. Okay. Like, you get that one full day of carbohydrates, it's going to fill up glycogen, and then the next workout, you're just going to deplete all the glycogen again. And then you're in a race to get yourself back into ketosis. It plays crazy mind games on you. Okay, you don't actually experience the true benefits of ketosis because you don't have really enough time to get in, and then before you're right back out again. So for anybody that says that cyclical ketogenic dieting is the secret to building muscle on keto, I promise you, it's not. However, targeted ketogenic dieting,
that's what I was going to ask,
is the better strategy.
Yes,
100%.
But that's only right as long as you're truly fat adapted first.
True. Yes. You've
got to be in it for a little bit before you go into targeted.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I would say like 3 weeks. Get yourself really, and the word fat adapted is kind of elusive. There's no test to know if you are or not. Basically, what Cody's saying is you got to allow your body to learn how to process the fats. There's a stage where, listen, like when you cut carbs out and you say, I'm going to go keto, you can pretty much just assume you're checking your ass into rehab. Straight up. You're going to rehab. Sugar withdrawal is coming.
Yeah.
And so you want to kind of allow your body to get through that stuff, like, get it balanced before you then all of a sudden reintroduce carbs around the workouts. Okay. Just to clarify the importance of that. But yeah, targeted ketogenic dieting, like I said, my cousin utilizes it. I've worked with MMA athletes. A lot of athletes prefer it. I would be willing to bet LeBron James played around with it a little bit. I'm not exactly sure, but
what they did, it was a slash paleo keto, so they did incorporate like the sweet potatoes.
Yeah, so they're strategically using the carbs,
absolutely,
which is very different than going all week without them, and then that's like cyclical ketogenic dieting is like going to rehab for a week and then over the weekend just totally relapsing.
Yeah.
And the whole week you're like, I'm not going to eat the bad carbs. I'm just going to eat the good, slow digesting carbs. Bullshit. You're crushing all the sugar. Trust me on that. Interestingly enough, I started with a program that was a cyclical ketogenic diet, and I just wanted to give people something to look forward to. Like, hey, like you'll get a carb day after 2 weeks, depending on if you needed to lose weight. I was only giving you 1 carb day every 2 weeks.
Okay.
If you wanted to build muscle, I was like once a week, right? I was wrong about both. Here's what ultimately ended up happening. Everybody was like, I love keto. I feel great. It's been 2 weeks. I'm so proud of myself. They do the carb day. And next thing I know, I'm getting emails from people like, yo, I feel like death. I don't know why I did that. Do I have to do this? Can I just stay keto? And I was surprised, but at the same time, I was feeling the same way myself. I always just put people on whatever I follow myself or a variation of it for them. But at the time, I was doing cyclical, and so I thought everybody should try it.
Yeah.
Anyways, don't do cyclical if you're trying to build muscle. You're fooling yourself. Try the targeted ketogenic diet. Number one thing is whatever you do, don't undereat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or none of it'll work.
And one thing what we try to do, or what I try to do with my clients, is that I send them to a place called DexaFit in Dallas.
Okay.
And that's where they can get their DEXA scan and their RMR testing.
Yeah.
And so one thing that, I know you said there's no test to know if you're truly fat adapted, but that RMR will tell you if you're burning carbs or fats.
That's cool.
It tells you through your breath. It takes the carbon dioxide and oxygen.
And I'll check that statement. Perhaps there is a way to know if you're truly fat adapted, but it's going to cost you, and not everybody can. I get people all the time that ask me like, hey, am I fat adapted? I'm like, dude, bro, you're never going to know. Stop worrying about it. Like, how long until I'm fat adapted? All these questions. Just get yourself into ketosis first.
Yeah.
Like you can measure that. You can that's what you should focus on. So, but it's interesting to know that you can do that kind of.
Yeah,
I'll have to come up there and try that when I get there.
Hey, you can do it totally.
Yeah,
I got you.
That's sweet.
When you say you got to get yourself in ketosis and the person is at home and they're testing their blood ketones and their glucose and all, what number do you truly feel is that number where you're in ketosis?
They say 0.5 to 3.0 is good. I'll say this. I like, me personally, if I'm anywhere over 1 millimolar, I'm golden. I don't even care what it is. Because there's so many different variables when it comes to those tests. Time of day, how long you've been fasting, if you've been working out. There is so many fluctuations. So I just use the ketone testing as a confidence booster, or like a come to Jesus meeting when you're like, damn, man, something I'm doing is not right because I'm only at 0.4, and that's no bueno. And so I start troubleshooting.
Yeah, I totally. I recommend people go out and get one of those blood ketone meters because, like for myself, I can take whey protein and it doesn't spike me at all.
Yeah.
But there's other people that do, so they need to switch and take more like a pea protein or something like that. So I think, you need to test, and everybody's chemical balance and all that is totally different. So you need to see what foods make you spike your insulin levels, and what keeps you in ketosis, what kicks you out, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Feedback is important.
Absolutely.
But again, it can become obsessive. I've seen it backfire just like the scale. Where all of a sudden you're getting messages from clients and emails from people like, yo, I was at a 1.1 and yesterday I was at a 1.9. What am I doing wrong? It's like, bro, you're not doing anything wrong, man. It's just the natural ebbs and flows of the ketone readings, man. Be proud of yourself.
I want to backtrack one more time because people might ask what exactly is targeted.
Yeah.
And so
the targeted ketogenic diet approach is basically taking in usually, again, this is all dependent on who you are, what your goals are. It's all flexible. It's all negotiable. You take in about 50 grams of carbohydrates pre-workout is usually how I utilize it. So that can be something like bananas. The debate is still out on whether you want to incorporate what type of carbohydrate works best.
Fructose.
So some people say stay away from fructose. Other people, say go to like the really, really fast digesting simple sugars, which is what my cousin Austin Wittrock does. He takes in, this is gonna shock people, but gummy worms, gummy bears, Jolly Ranchers, and the idea is you're just flooding your bloodstream with glucose that your body is then going to use during the workout. And then there's other people who are like, yeah, but that's a little extreme. I want to do something like a sweet potato. But the point is, you're intaking carbohydrate as fuel for your workout. That is, so you're targeting when you intake carbohydrates.
And that's what I'm at right now for the last 6 months. I was doing the SKD and now I'm doing the targeted, and so I take in about 43 grams of carbs
from what
right before. It's a high glucose, just like a powder that I put in, and it's faster than the old school they take a Pop-Tart, need a Pop-Tart. This is like 20 times faster than that,
dude. Oh, man, now you got me. So I've actually personally never done targeted ketogenic diet.
Really
I've
what I noticed, man, all of a sudden
I've witnessed,
just blow up.
I've witnessed, and I've put fighters on it, and I've put people on it. I think I'll tell you why. Is because I think I got so scared off by the cyclical ketogenic diet experience that I'm like, I'm just sticking strict keto.
I can understand that.
I don't even. But I've seen targeted work so well for people, and now I'm sitting here talking to you about it, and I'm like, I got to find out what he's taking pre-workout because I want to try it. My cousin Austin Wittrock's also tried dextrose powder. Is that what it is?
Okay.
Like just straight sugar powder.
I
don't know, it wasn't maltodextrin. I think it was dextrose. Anyways, if you're trying to lose weight, like if you're not an athlete or a bodybuilder or anything like that, disregard everything we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Okay, like that is, if you want to lose weight, do not do targeted. And certainly don't do cyclical. Just stick with the regular ketogenic diet and find a way to make that work for you.
Absolutely. And then for the people that are trying to lose weight and get a lot more healthier, what advice would you give them when they're like, okay, I understand the macros, I understand, the 75% fat and 20% protein and, all that, but how many damn calories should I really eat?
Commitment number 2 is eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full.
That's it. Just don't even worry about it.
Listen, fat is very satiating. This is another one of those questions that we can get an entire podcast in, but I have to always prioritize my thinking here. It's always a trigger question for me. One of the benefits, the beauty of the ketogenic diet from my experience, is that it allows your body to regulate itself, okay? And that allows you to get in touch with the primal signals that like, hey, I'm hungry, or hey, I'm full. When you're running on carbohydrates, that's not the case. All right, like you're a straight drug addict, right? When you're getting the commitment number 2, eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. If you're running a carbohydrate, if you're running the NASM diet, that doesn't work because you're always hungry and you never feel full. because that's the effect carbohydrates have on your body. So when you regulate your hormones by reducing the carbohydrates and eating fat, you're able to really put yourself in touch with those primal hunger cues and satiety cues. The other thing is it's very difficult to overeat on the ketogenic diet because fat is extremely satiating.
It's true. Sometimes, and that sometimes make you undereat because you're like, I'm not hungry.
Trust me, if 75% of your calories come from fat, that tells me two things. Two very important things. One, your blood sugar and insulin levels were under control all day long because fat does not have a significant impact on blood sugar and insulin. Two, you're very full. If 75% of your calories came from fat, trust me, you're full. Let me give a little visual example here. If I slid a plate full of pancakes in front of you, you're crushing them all, no problemo. If I slid a plate full of steaks in front of you, you're gonna eat one for sure, think about two, get halfway through it and probably stop. The body just has a way of saying, we're good. Okay? So this debate about calories, we're not gonna get in, I'm not gonna get in, we're just going to leave it at that. But it's important to track what are called macro percentages from my perspective in the beginning so that you know that you're doing the diet correctly. For example, I always advocate 70 to 80% fat, 10 to 20% protein, less than 50 grams total carbohydrates. And from my experience working with clients, just focusing on those macro percentages works. And I've been able to kind of free people from, it's not been easy, but the calorie in, calorie out mentality. I know certain people will disagree. A lot of people disagree with me on it. And if you're, you advocate for calorie counting and it works for you and it works for your clients and it's sustainable, then either approach is fine. The most important thing is just keep the carb. This calorie debate's been hard for me to have with a lot of people, and ultimately I've kind of said, fine. Fine, if counting calories works for you, then do it. But I have found that the ketogenic diet has taken the emphasis off. It's you got fat because you ate too much food and you didn't work out enough. That's calories in, calories out. Instead, it's you got fat because you were eating the wrong types of foods that negatively impacted your hormones. It had nothing to do with you're lazy and you're a glutton and you eat too much. Think about kids, man. Think about these fat kids, unfortunately, man. It's unbelievable. When you go to like schools, how many overweight kids there are. If you sit there, honestly, if you sit and see a 10-year-old who is grotesquely overweight, if you sit there and say, that kid eats too much food and doesn't work out enough, more than Jimmy next door, you're tripping, okay? That kid is being fed sugar, carbohydrates, same amount of calories, I guarantee it, as his neighbor buddy. Guaranteed. Calorie for calorie, probably the exact same. But the overweight kid is insulin resistant, probably genetically. He was probably born with the misfortune of it. And so he goes his whole life thinking, I'm fat because I'm lazy. I'm fat because I play too many video games. I'm fat, I don't have a chance in hell. He loses hope because it's always calories in, calories out. And I'm the guy, when he gets to be about 25, 30 years old, who's going to try and give him some damn hope. So that's why I kind of get triggered, emotional about the calorie in, calorie out thing. I don't give a shit if it is about that. I'm saying it doesn't have to be about that. And to turn the conversation away from it gives people hope.
Yeah, absolutely. One tool that I've done for myself that's helped me, and it might help some of the people doing your commitments, when you say track your calories or track your macros and everything.
Not calories.
Not calories, but your macros.
Not even your macros, the macro percentages, not grams. Go ahead.
And so what I do, I'm not the biggest foodie in the world, so I can eat pretty much the same thing all the time. So I make, I go on like eatthismuch.com and I make a menu that fits all those macros, and that way I know exactly what I'm going to eat throughout that week. And I make that, I prep that, and that just then it gets you into that mind frame of understanding, okay, how much salmon is, how many grams of fat, or what does that do with salmon and steak, and just kind of learning foods in that direction. So that's helped me out a little bit.
Let me tell you something. That's good. That's good.
But I don't do it all the time.
That's good.
That was at the beginning.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. At the beginning,
Yeah. It helps you become more conscious, more aware.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I've found, and like I said, I was a personal trainer in Atlanta for a long time. I ran a very big business, worked with a lot of people. So I have experience working with people one-on-one, all different walks of life. Of course, the online world, coaching, dealing with questions and people on YouTube, and I'm a people reader, and so I really kind of see what's going on behind the scenes. I look through the surface level of the question.
Yeah.
What I've found is that most people who embark on a diet and come to somebody like me, it's almost like they want to be put into a cage. It's like there's a difference between being a lion in a cage and a lion in the wild. And for some reason, people want to start the diet, they come to trainers and people like me, and it's like they just surrender. They're like, throw me in a cage. And there's a lot of trainers out there who would love to slam that door on your ass.
Yeah.
And they would love to put you in that cage. They would love to tell you exactly how many calories to eat, when to eat, what to eat, how much to eat, like all of these crazy rules, when to work out, how much cardio to do, and like all this shit. In the beginning, you think that's what you need, that's what you want, because you have no willpower, and like, yes, sign me up, this is what I paid for, this, I want to be told what to do. Trust me, it's going to be a few weeks at the most before you're the lion in the cage who's scratching at the ground, trying to bury a tunnel under the cage. You're clawing at the bars. You want the hell out. You want to be free. Your willpower's over. And you're really rebelling against everything your trainer's telling you. The opposite of that is being a lion in the wild. Okay? A lion in the wild eats when it's hungry. It doesn't count calories. It doesn't really care. It knows what it needs to eat. When it gets the primal state, it's a perfectly well-regulated system. When it gets the urge to eat, it goes out and it makes a kill. Ironically, I suppose, it eats the fattiest part of the animal first.
Yes.
It leaves the lean stuff for the scavengers. Doesn't stop eating until it gets the signal that it's full. It doesn't care if it's 3 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But if you take a look at a lion in a cage, it's miserable. It's being fed on a schedule. And so I always try in my business, my coaching business, when I work with clients, yes, you do have to control certain things. Yes, it's like I said, track for 21 days, then stop tracking after 21 days. Because I'm going to capture you, because I know that's what you want. I am going to put you in the damn cage, but I'm going to let you out of the cage. Because if not, you're just going to find a way to do it anyways.
And you can't sustain it as a lifestyle.
No, dude.
I mean, if you're in the cage,
unless you want to be miserable.
It's just a diet for a short period of time. But if you really are truly, and that's why I hate saying keto a diet, it's not. Like, once you've made that decision in your mind to go do that, it's a lifestyle. It's learning.
Yeah, it's just changing different behaviors, rearranging the way you think about food. If you thought rice was healthy, it's just really not. I'm sure everybody knows sugar is not healthy, but hey, the big shock is you've learned to embrace the fat. You're not afraid. You get over the fat phobia. But the point is this, man. You need to be a lion in the wild if you want to make this sustainable. Nobody sticks to diets, man. I've been trying to put people on freaking diets for 15 years, man. And the ironic thing is, I don't even follow a diet. I don't feel like I follow a diet.
I don't either.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I mean, with this 75 hard challenge, one of them is you got to follow. And I'm like, this is no problem. I mean, it's easy for me.
Yeah. It takes a little bit for people to be completely free, and it can be scary to be a lion in the wild. It can be liberating, but it could also, that's my
Well, then also
philosophy.
another thing, the way keto has evolved, there's so many more options out there now. 4, 5, 6 years ago, you couldn't get certain things, and people were craving like a dark chocolate or something like that. Now there's so many options to make it so much more sustainable.
Yeah, 100%. It's crazy to see how big keto's gotten. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
It is.
Well, man, if you got any more shout out about Keto Quest, or if you have something coming up.
You've done it all for me, bro. I appreciate you.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate you for taking time. I know it's a beautiful Saturday out here in Austin.
It is, man. We got a crazy. I wish everybody on this podcast could see the view we've got right now.
Yeah, Logan's got a hookup right here.
Yes, he does.
Dude, this is awesome. And even though he didn't say much or say anything on the podcast, but he's back there doing some work, and I'm glad that he let us come up here and use his place.
Logan's always planning to take over the world back there. Look at him back there.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to have the conversation with Logan.
Yeah.
Somebody who's as you guys will find out in the next podcast, somebody who's, it's not a diet for him either. It's a means of survival. And anybody that tells me that like keto is a fad, first person that pops into my head is Logan Sneed. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, bro, keto is a fad. Yeah, whatever you say, man. Yeah, if keto is a fad, then I'm cool with that. So yeah, but I appreciate the time, man. I like seeing people like you paying it forward and helping inspire people. And
definitely,
yeah, you're a great dude, and I'll be up in Dallas to come bang some weights over at your gym,
Please
bro.
Do.
Yeah,
Please
I'll
do.
show those
It'll
people
awesome.
how it's done.
Definitely. All right, guys. Well, that wraps up this episode of the Myler Flex podcast. Just like always, enjoy yourself and keep repping and flexing. Probably coffee.
I use black coffee. Also, a trick is I use sodium. So sodium is a big vasodilator. So I take a teaspoon of sodium or salt on the tongue, and then I chug water. That opens up the blood vessels, helps blood get through the muscle, all that stuff. So definitely try that. It's a little weird at first, sounds crazy, but you get used to it. L-arginine is another great supplement that I use. I also use creatine monohydrate, unflavored, and that's really it, man.
What do you think about L-carnitine?
I have not. L-carnitine is a great option as well. I don't use it, but I know people who do.
Yeah, I use that, and I've totally felt the difference with that too.
Yeah, you should try doing the black coffee, L-arginine. I take 3,000 milligrams. The sodium. Get yourself off the pre-workout for a little while if you can, man. Like, it's, you don't need a pre-workout. I was becoming addicted to pre-workout, and especially caffeine. And the one I was taking was pretty high in the caffeine amount, on top of coffee that I was having throughout the day.
Well, also what I've figured, because I'm a coffee junkie, and once I went keto and got truly in ketosis, your energy level is already pretty high with all those ketones flowing. So I didn't need as much of the coffee all the time for that pre-workout.
Yeah. Hopefully that answers that question. If you do have to have a pre-workout, go for one that doesn't have a lot of artificial sweeteners in it. Watch out for the hidden sugars and stuff like that. I don't take it, just curious. Yeah, that's cool. Balancing, what is it? Balancing Breland?
Yeah. I actually went to college with her husband.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thoughts on exogenous ketones for pre-workout? Yes, that could work as well. I don't personally use them. You do, right? Do you take exogenous ketones pre-workout?
Oh, yeah, BHB.
Yeah, BHB. Yeah, so you can try the BHB salts. Again, I think a lot of the reason why that works is because it's very high sodium.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what really kind of gets things flowing.
Well, also, another thing what I feel about that is you want to burn your own ketones. You don't want to take those.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I still take them when I feel like need them.
Therapeutically, it's a whole different argument. Like if you ask him.
Yeah,
right?
that's why I take it.
Yeah, there's a therapeutic thing for it, and then I think the jury's still out on the performance issue.
Yeah.
There's some research shown, but give it a shot. It's an expensive shot. That's the thing. It's like,
there we go.
Guys, thank you so much for joining in. Peace out. Much love.
Take care.
Hey guys, do me a big favor and go follow Myler Flex on Instagram and Facebook. And if you want more videos of the podcast or workout videos, follow the Myler Flexing Podcast on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Till next time, keep repping and flexing.